Hey everybody, quick announcement before we start the episode. Not really an announcement, more of an apology. When we recorded this episode, I messed up a little bit. I had my wrong microphone on. I think my webcam was picking up my audio rather than my nice shiny microphone thing that I use to speak into. So my audio is hot garbage this episode. I do apologize for that. It should be fine as of next week, but obviously we wanted to let you know so that when your ears bleed, you've at least had this little warning first. When we last left the party, Kelemvor is one of the gods of the world. He is, in fact, the god of death. How do you feel about a trip to Aegir? I've heard of a necromantic cult.
Yeah, know anyone in the area?
Her name is Mistress Eileen.
I'm gonna quickly bend down. I'm gonna find the largest grain of sand. I'm gonna touch it, and it's gonna turn into a tiny servant. Hello, you are my friend. I'm gonna name you Friendly Henry.
Do you want to go for lizard? And the lizard looks up at you and it laughs. And then it goes, Yaka, this is a fun game. Orthrus sits in the sand before you. The stone gates slowly, slide open. Welcome to Aegir at the same time as the carriage rides into the city.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Whack-A-Roll Vagabonds. My name is Luke, I'm your GM, and I'm the Nipple Ghost.
There was a whole thing earlier about nipple ghosts, and Luke started it.
My mum listens to this podcast.
Yeah, you can edit that out.
I'm not going to.
Oh dear.
I'll die on this.
He's not going to do that. Hi, my name's Tom. I was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar when you met me, and I'm playing Phalark, the half-elf sorcerer.
I'm Dora. I'm playing Philippe. I'm very confused right now, and when I laugh, it hurts my head.
And I'm Al. I'm a matter baby, and I play Yaga.
You're a what?
A matter baby.
What the fuck is a matter baby?
Oh, nothing,
All
sweetie. I'm fine.
Right, the podcast is officially cancelled. God.
I'm so confused. What's the matter, baby?
What's going on with you, sweetie?
Oh, I hate you so much.
The worst part is I fell for it and I was like, okay, that's a good one. And Dora instantly on hey, my turn. Jumping. You guys arrive at the great city of Aegir. This is this great, sprawling desert city. The kind of general gist of this is it's quite sandstony. It's quite ubiquitously yellow all around, but it is very upscale. This is probably one of the richest cities in the world. This is where most of the world's economy happens. It is called the Golden City for a reason. There are bazaars everywhere, these stalls with hucksters selling jewelry that glistens in the sunlight. These fine robes of all colours. And this goes on for as far as you can see. It's quite busy. It's a bustling day in the middle of the you're only noonish, I'd say. So you've still got plenty of sunlight in your day. You guys are looking for the necromancers, but you've also got this lead about a concubine by the name of Mistress Eileen. What do you guys want to do?
Well, Philippe is probably going to enjoy his last few hours together with Friendly Henry.
We get this montage of Philippe's day with Friendly Henry. They run through the bazaar, they find ice cream together, and they sit on a park bench for a while. It's all done in silence with sad music playing over top.
Is this that Kingdom Hearts
a lot of
spin-off,
terrified
Luke?
And a lot of terrified faces in the background as they're seeing this rock just bolstering through their streets.
And then, in the last few shots of it...
I'm imagining my own scene quickly where Friendly Henry and Philippe are running together in a field of flowers, running towards each other, jumping in the air out to embrace, and then the problem of jumping to embrace a big stone man hits Philippe in the face.
Yeah. So we get a scene where you're playing Tig, then we get some ice cream, then later on we get this scene of
Don't
you
you
playing.
mean it?
No,
Shut the fuck up.
no, he
And then we get a
Tig.
scene later. Let me make the one joke I've been trying to make for 5 minutes, friends. Then we get a scene later on with you guys playing frisbee, and Friendly Henry tries to fly up to catch the frisbee, but hurts his back in the process. The next shot is Philippe leaning over as Friendly Henry kind of tries to wave it off, but we can see the look of concern on Philippe's face. The next scene is the two of them in a hospital. Friendly Henry lying in a hospital bed, the IV machine beeping gently, and Philippe trying his hardest to look strong for his friend, for his son. You never want to see a father outlive his son. But alas, 8 hours is not much for life, but Philippe knows that he gave Friendly Henry more of a life than anyone else could.
Can't believe Friendly Henry died from kidney stones.
Oh, Tom, you're cancer.
So now, seriously, what are we doing? The fucking
No,
role-playing?
seriously, this raises a question. Does Friendly Henry retain his memories and stuff every time he's resummoned?
Are we talking about Friendly Henry memory?
Yes.
Well, no, I think the memory of Friendly Henry is what survives.
By the next time that Dora summons him, be prepared to answer that question, Luke.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah, you
does he
decided that.
disappear when he dies?
No,
Or
no.
he can be his own gravestone.
Where his eyes were, just draw crosses on them.
So Friendly Henry's now dead.
Yeah.
How about the story that I've written, guys? What do you want to do about that?
Freddie Henry was the story.
Well, I don't know about you fellas, but I'm fucking parched.
A tavern is as good a place as any to start asking around.
We've been in the fucking desert for a long time, and I don't do so well in direct sunlight,
You guys have had some time wandering around the city while Friendly Henry dies slowly, lovingly.
I'm very upset.
Good.
Philippe,
That's how I like
why
it.
are you wearing all black? We're out in the desert. You'll fucking boil.
If it means that I can return to Freddie Henry sooner, then I will do anything.
No,
Oh great, we got a suicidal child plotline now.
let you die.
Oh god, Philippe's going into his
Philippe
emo
has-
phase now.
Your aunt knows we have you.
No. It's gonna be his emo phase for about
day.
a day or two. Then he's gonna enter his scene
Oh
phase.
no.
Ew.
Right. There's an inn by the name of Sword and Scabbard. That's pretty central. It is... I think that, as you guys are... Actually, that's a good point. Let's talk about what kind of bar you're looking for, because there will be multiple taverns in the city this size.
Yeah.
Has to be child friendly.
But we're looking for a prostitute.
We'll just tell people you're a dwarf.
So, I'm going to say now that, that's not necessarily going to mean anything. A status, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right.
We're talking about,
It's a legitimate career. It's not crime.
Yeah.
Thank you, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, yeah, we established that, but I'm just saying,
It's
is
still
that necessarily...
not for
Are we
kids.
going to find that in a child-friendly bar?
I do have false identity, so I could totally put species
There we go.
dwarf
That's-
on it.
I
Philippe will paint a little moustache. On
Give me a
his face.
disguise check.
I rolled a 12.
You make a passable beard.
mustache.
From certain angles, it definitely looks like you've got, a scribbled on beard. But, only under, direct scrutiny. I'm going to say that you know of 2 places you could go for information. 2 bars that you could go to. One is an inn that's in the east of the city. It's called the Sword and the Scabbard. It's one of the city's oldest. It is a favourite of the locals, but it's generally considered to be quite lowbrow. So a lot of the traders of the city don't go there. Meanwhile, you've got the Trading Guild itself, which is this giant, golden tower in the middle of the city. It is, the bank of Suchao. It is, where, you would need to go to get a license to trade in this city. It is, it has, in essence, it's almost like a shopping mall. it would have an inn in it. It would have multiple inns in it. It would have like bars. It would have like lodging, but like it is bustling. It would be bustling with like all manner of people.
I think we should go to the mall.
Nope. We're going to the Sword and Scabbard, and do you know why?
Why?
Because it sounds like a sex euphemism. So obviously, the sex worker will be there.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
That was not my intention.
Ah, you Phil! You're playing with me, you idiot!
Al sniffs out an innuendo from 1,000 paces. Okay, so you're going to the Sword and Scabbard.
I guess, as long as we get to go to the mall later.
Yeah, you get to the Sword and Scabbard, and it's midday. It's quite hot outside. You are in the desert, like the sun is just like beating down. It's not like bursting point in this bar, but like it is like packed. You know, you are like elbowing people to get through, God. And I think like you catch a good reason for it early. Like there is like quite a rudimentary like clockwork device hanging from the roof. It's a fan, like it blows cool air downwards, like so the room itself is like quite chill. There are all manner of people like straggling around. There is a sitar player. We're going to say dragonborn sitar player sitting in the corner of the bar on like a small, like it's not like a huge stage, but it's like small elevated with like a couple pillows, and he's playing that fills the room with like some like quite relaxing music. A couple of games of cards, like a game of darts maybe, a couple of people arm wrestling, and mostly like just general merriment here. What do you do, adventurers?
Philippe's gonna charge the arm.
Okay, you approach the table just as this.
Whoops.
We're gonna say as a dwarven lady sitting at the desk, like slams an elf's hand down the table. She's like, "That'll be 3 gold pieces from ya." And the elf grumbles, tosses 3 gold onto the table, and she's like stowing them into a pouch dangling from her skirt. When like Philippe sits down, and she raises an eyebrow and says, "My dwarven brother,
oh no,
what can I do for you?"
Hello, my name is Philippe, and I challenge you to an arm wrestle.
That'll be 3 gold pieces. Can you place your wager? And she drops. I think she maybe didn't get the coins into the pouch, and she puts them onto the table.
Philippe slams down 3 gold pieces.
Okay. Give me a strength test.
yeah.
Right. Before I do a strength test, Philippe's gonna turn on the predatory charm
What?
Oh my god.
and like wiggle his eyebrows at
no.
Okay,
this
so
lady.
remind me what predatory charm does as an ability.
So I can target one creature and I gain advantage on charisma checks.
Great, you're doing a strength check.
Philippe's going to try and convince her to throw the game.
Okay, what are you saying to get her to throw?
Philippe's gonna lean in, but listen here. If you throw this match, the people will be more willing to bet higher stakes because they think they have a better chance against you. Trust me, if they see you lose to a small person like me, they'll be more willing to try and milk you for money, which you can dominate them.
Okay,
for.
give me a persuasion check.
That's a 19.
I think she is like pushing against your arm at this point, and like you are aware that like I think you feel like the pressure in your arm, and you're aware she could just like fucking floor you in 1 second, right? And like,
yeah.
she's like, and like you're just sitting there like not doing anything, and she's like clutching her muscles like. And, like, the veins are popping in her, like, wrist. As she's, like, holding this arm against you. And, like, she is, like, standing up now. And, like, give me a performance check, Philippe.
Does it sound good?
That's a 11.
Like, I think that you are just sort of sitting there, like, yes, I am Philippe. And
I arm wrestle.
okay, and she, like, yeah, she gets a decent roll of her performance check. So she bluffs the crap out of this. And then, like, she kind of, like, looks at you and goes, like, and then kind of, like, nods her head to one side, indicating you to, like, finish it.
Philippe's gonna yell out, "In the name of my strength, I shall now defeat you!" And slam, and then he goes to slam her hand down.
I think that, like,
Philippe's really lame.
there's, like, the few people that are, like, there, like, give a scattering of applause, and then, like, she looks like, dwarf feigns, like, embarrassment. It's like, very well, and slides the 6 gold pieces across the table. And she's like, the pot is yours. And she looks at the crowd and is like, any other challengers?
Philippe's gonna sort of like, as he gets up from his seat, he's gonna like try and spot clearly the wealthiest person there, and sort of like whispering, "Honestly, she is quite weak now. If you want to make loads of money, completely try and take all of her money. Bet it all."
Give me a persuasion check. This one will not be with advantage.
That's a 15.
There is a human gentleman in, like, these, like a very, like, formal black outfit. It's got, like, gold trimming around the edge, like, and it's got this gold pin, like a lapel pin attached to him. And he sits down at the table. Like, he's the one that you approach. He's the one you say this to. And he looks at you. He, like, runs one hand back to you, like, slicked black hair, and sits down at the table, and he just pulls out a coin purse without a word and just, like, sort of, like, flicks it onto the desk. And it bursts open, and easily 20 to 30 gold pieces spill out onto this table. And that is a lot of money to go flashing around, like, especially a bar of ill repute. And I think that, like, there's, like, a hush that falls in that sort of area. The dwarf looks up at him and goes, "Are you sure?" And he just nods silently, puts his hand on the table, and she takes up the challenge. And he gives a fight back. Like, it's not like she just instantly wins this. But, like, there's a give and take, and she eventually does overpower him, slamming his hand to the table, and, like, you hear a crack.
Uh-oh.
Did she break a hand?
And, like, he, like yelps out in pain and is like, "I'll have your head for that."
Oh dear.
And he draws a sword.
Whoa.
Guys, I made
Yeah.
some friends.
Weapons at the door.
Yaga, did you see where Philippe went? I hope he's not getting into any trouble.
No idea.
It's just going to be Philippe at the side of his sort of, you know, like with his fist clenched, sort of like bopping like in excitement with what's going on.
So none of you are going to do anything?
I don't know what's happening. A child just ran off on his own.
You just love the child!
I'm trying to get a mojito.
Can I just chuck paint at him? Like, not colour spray. Can I just chuck some paint
Yeah,
at
go
him?
for it. You splash ink in his face. He yells, and I think, like, a bunch of people, like, take up the, like, you know, thing. It's not like he's getting away with this. I think, like, the elf that, you know, the dwarf already beat, like, in the distraction, like, clocks him one, like, just, like, square in the jaw, and he stumbles back. He wipes the paint out of his eyes with his one good hand, like, picks up his sword from the ground and just runs out of the bar. And there's, like, a cheer, and the dwarf kind of, like looks at you and goes, like, "Thank you, well, that was kind of you. Thank you for, I thought he was going to have me hand there. Here," and she, like, slyly sort of, like, slips a small pouch of 15 gold to you, and then
Yeah, boy.
yells out, "Drinks are on me!" And the crowds, like, yell, like, cheers, and, like, she, like, heads up to the bar with, like, the gold that she just made off that gentleman.
Tom, you gotta get your drink.
I already had one, but I'll take another.
Okay, the other two, what are you doing?
I want to shuffle up to whoever's tending bar and just inquire about a Mistress Eileen.
Okay, I think that the person at the bar today is a... What race haven't we used? A tabaxi, which is a cat. So it's a tabaxi. He is like... I think like quite like a stout, portly tiger.
You mean the coach from Monster Prom?
Yes,
Oh my
that is a
God.
perfect image. Yes. He's got like these like big old paw hands that he's currently got like a rag around one of them, and he's cleaning some glasses when you approach, and he's like, "How can I help you?"
I was wondering if you perhaps knew anything or can point me in the direction of Mistress Eileen.
You're looking for Eileen. I think you get a looks at you. The however old lady coming into his bar and asking for a hooker.
Well, you don't know my life.
It's a birthday present for my grandson.
Point at Phil like, this is him.
Thanks, Gran.
He goes, well, that's how your family rolls. You can find her down the road.
We're very open.
Down the road where?
Yeah, I was about to say it, but then your son chimed
I'm
in with...
sorry about him. He's very excited. This will be his first time.
I think that the barkeep puts a huge paw on your shoulder and says, "You never forget your first."
How was yours?
Give me a persuasion check.
That's an 18.
His name was Apollo Jordan Robert Craigs.
Beautiful.
He was a champion boxer from
Geography.
from the town of Salmon, a quiet, humble fishing town, where I was born in the year 30 ago. Hey guys, my improv skills are not on point.
What race was he?
Shut up. We were childhood friends, he and I, even though I was just a lowly fisherman. And he was the son of elven nobility. And our love was forbidden. Forbidden it was! But nothing can stop the thralls of red hot passion.
Stop.
What I'm trying to say is we fucked.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
I need an adult.
And
Luke would like to stress again that his mum listens to this podcast.
And is the name of your tavern a sort of sly nod?
No, it's a sword in a scabbard. Like,
I don't know. Do you not see how that could be maybe a bit of a euphemism?
You know what it sounds like.
He just really wants to be a knight, okay?
so,
Anyway, where can
he
we
kind of looks at
find
you
it?
happily after telling you the story of his first time. It goes into a lot more detail than I did.
Okay.
But to hear that story, you'll have to support our Patreon.
I am not recording a
Damn,
love story between
Right, smut.
fucking. I'm not writing smut for the Patreon.
My DM wrote a porno.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it. If we can get like fucking 5 Patreon subscribers, because we have 0 at the moment, I will write the full scene in the tiger's voice. I will pull Tom in so he can sit and chime in on it, and we will together write the entire 5-minute at least bar scene where we fucking tell the exploits between Barkeep McTigerson and Apollo Jordan Robert Craigs.
I'm in.
I need to know where I can find Eileen.
She's just down the road at Love, Power and Purity.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
To have a good life.
I already have. And then he kind of like puts his head in his hands and goes, elbows his microphone, and then goes, "Oh, Apollo."
I feel like we should set him up. Like, let's make it happen.
Okay, what now, boys and girls?
Down the road at Love, Murderer and Berber, right?
Power and Purity.
Thank you.
To the Love Shack.
Love, Power and Purity is this large marble building. Like, it sticks out from like the like yellowish sandstone of everything else by being like this huge, cool, white like building in the middle of the city. You are very central to Algier right now. Like, you have never really like left the shadow of the actual tower of the Trading Guild. I think as you are like kind of spiraling in towards this place, this is a lot more central. Like, You're like most of the city is built around this huge bazaar, like this huge like trading square full of stalls and hucksters and all sorts. Like in the shadow
You're
of
into
these
the word
two.
hucksters today.
It's a good word. In the shadow of these two huge buildings, the first one being this golden tower, the other one being a large monastery-like building, a huge temple. You are moving closer towards the center, and as you do, you actually see this huge like sphinx like patrolling the city. It's smaller than the ones that guarded the gates, but like you can see a lot of the same like machination in it. So like as it like paws through the street, you can definitely see like people who know the city well steering well clear of it, as like these like beams of light emerge from its eyes. It sort of scans left and right. It is one of the automated like guards of the city.
How big is it?
Like I would say about the size of a car.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay you any attention. It just sort of like flicks through. And you guys find yourself at Love, Power, and Purity.
Cool.
There are a series of like large shirtless men outside
Cool.
the gate, holding halberds and wearing.
This is my dream.
And they're wearing like full plate helms so that you can't see their faces. And there are a lot of people kind of like going in and out of this building. All of them are wearing like masks, like masquerade masks.
Oh.
And like you can tell it's just a matter of like, you know, you can't really have like a brothel this central and expect to like retain your anonymity.
Okay.
And actually there are multiple stalls here. I should say also this isn't the only brothel in the area. Like there are a couple of others that you can definitely recognize as like brothels in like the district that you're in is probably like what we'd call like a red light district.
Right.
And there are a series of these mask shops scattered around.
I think we should go get masks.
Well, I can see, but I've already got one, you see.
Philippe wants a bunny mask.
Okay, do you want to get masks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like. There's no need to like fully roleplay that out. I think that like it's just a couple of like maximum like a silver for like a gaudy one.
Not going
like-
for a gaudy one.
Like I said, Philippe gets a bunny mask.
I'm kind of imagining like almost like the BioShock Splicer rabbit mask, where it's like
Yeah,
got like
yeah,
that
yeah.
one ear up, one ear kind of like bent over, just not bloodstained and awful. Unless you want it to be bloodstained and awful.
Sure.
Oh God, why? I shouldn't have given you that option. That was that was entirely on me. I gave you that option, and like, I'm sorry.
Remember, Philippe's got into his edgy phase.
Oh,
his
God,
boy
he is.
died.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea where he just like pulled out some ink and like sort of like blotted on the bloodstains on this rabbit
Yeah.
mask. Yaga, describe your mask.
Do you know the masks from Ocarina of Time? Like, it's a full face coverage, and it is just brown wood with like. Is it just the spooky mask? It's the one you give to the little kid in the graveyard.
Yes.
And then Phalark.
Phalark has a mask.
You're just gonna wear your basic like criminal mask.
It's not basic.
Describe your robber's mask then,
How
Thomas.
dare you? Yeah, it's
You're so basic.
yeah, it's like a highwayman's mask, but it covers a bit more of the nose down to a small point, and it's sort of teal coloured, with dark purple sort of paisley patterns on it, and there's sort of purple coloured embellishments around the edge as well.
Is it just the mask you're wearing, or are you wearing like a hat to accompany it, or are you just covering the eyes?
I've still got my tricolor on. Keep the sun off.
The three of you approach the building. As you do, like you see that like there is a queue that forms outside of it. The two like burly men with halberds at the top. Like with every group of customers that go in, they cross their halberds to stop the entry, and they're discussing a few things and taking what is quite like a hefty amount of gold. You can see like these like small like sacks exchanging. You guys make it to the front of the queue. The guards like close their gate, and they look down to you. You can see like their eyes from behind the masks, and that's all you can see of their faces. And they kind of just like, one of them says, "Entry fee."
And how much is that?
20 gold ahead.
20 gold, that's like nothing.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
happy
if,
to pay.
if you can't afford it, I can cover all of us.
So you're just going to pay the guards?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to cause.
I'd rather
disturbance.
just like do it straightforward rather than cast suspicion. We're already 3 weirdos.
Yep. You put the gold in like a bag in front of them. The bag closes itself and empties magically. Like these are like traditional sort of like teleporting bags that will teleport like a set fee into like a safe place, if you know what I mean. Like it's a cash register, but like walkie-talkie cash registers.
I've got all of us covered, lads. I just paid the whole 60.
Oh, cheers, Yaga.
Thank you.
My good wains.
Cheers, Gran.
I think that and then as you do that, they hold their hand out. One of them holds their hands out and says, "Hands."
I show them my hands.
Hold out my hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
You all hold out your hand, and there's just a brief pain. It's almost like a pinprick.
Oh.
And a like black as ash sigil appears on your hand.
Oh, so we can get back into the club later.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Nice.
It's a pair of lips with a finger pressed to them, in a shushing motion.
Yeah.
And
It's the mark of shame.
Ridiculously corny, I love it.
The next day, people will know where we were.
Well,
actually, you
actually.
as you get marked, someone leaves love, power, and purity, and when they hit the bottom of the stairs, you actually see the sigil disappear from the back of their hand. And then one of them's like, "Oh no, I forgot my wallet." Pops back onto the stairs and it reappears.
Just to establish that.
No
Good.
mark of shame.
Because it's I love that idea of it being a club entry thing that disappears and reappears.
Yeah.
So nobody knows.
Yeah, especially with something like a brothel. I think that's important. But yeah, the guard says, "Cause no trouble. See and have a good time." And
Thank
they
you.
raise their spears.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to an episode with characters that aren't weird bug people designed solely to be killed by adventurers. This particular middle section is brought to you by you. We got a bunch of comments from you lovely people, so let's just jump right into this. First of all, we got a couple of Twitter comments from Princess of the Realm and friend of mine, Tom. A different one. He says, "The one Android app I could find you on doesn't have a review function. Can I get an NPC named after me? Anyway, in return for letting Twitter know, I'm the sort of nerd who listens to 5-star D&D podcasts." And he also says, "I was pretty sure he was on his way, but it was still so good to have Finn show up. I'm grinning like a fool on this train." Tom was actually in the first game where I introduced Finn DeLego, probably my one recurring NPC, so I'm glad to know you're enjoying the show, bud. Next up, we have Fiona, who says, "Is there a reason episode 4 of The Great Library Heist isn't on YouTube?" To which the answer is, whoops. I've rectified that now, it should be up and ready to listen. Getting in touch with us to let us know where we've messed up so we can fix things and make the show the best we can is really greatly appreciated, so thank you. Last but by no means least, on the YouTube upload for our first episode, Medi has left us a comment that reads, "First. Well, you certainly were, and we're happy to share your accomplishment with the rest of our listeners. Thank you very much for your messages. I'm working on whipping up some NPCs with your names in the upcoming episodes. We do record a little in advance, but I assure you they will be coming. If you want to get your name immortalized in podcast form, you too can send us a message wherever you can. We're at Wackaroll on Twitter and Instagram. We have actually now used the Instagram. Oh my god. You can email us at wackaroll@gmail.com, and we also upload all our episodes to YouTube, so you can leave us comments there too. Thank you all for listening. I'll let you get back to the sexcapades. Toodles.
When you enter Love, Power, and Purity, instantly, it's a lot darker in here than it was outside. Everything is lit by candlelight, and inside there are all manner of like men and women of all races, like sort of like scattered around. A lot of them are recognizable as patrons. They have the masks on, like they are smoking from long pipes that release like all manner of different colors of smoke and smell. Like, I think especially like the older two in the room recognize a few of them as less than legal substances.
Hello.
Philippe does not recognize which ones are just straight up narcotics.
Don't breathe too deeply, child.
Yeah, let's not.
Phaelak's just.
There are but there are other people. There are men and women with trays, and men and women dancing on stages. You can tell which ones are employees by the fact that they do not wear masks, and on their bodies somewhere there is a long feather, a long peacock feather, either like most of them like have it incorporated into their hair somehow. Some of them wear it like on a chain around their neck, some of them like in a lapel almost. Like, they are in varying states of undress.
Oh no, cover the child's eyes.
Yeah, I was about to say, Luke, when you were saying not wearing, I thought you were going to say, like, not wearing anything at all. Like, just people butt naked everywhere.
Philippe.
There's genitals everywhere.
Waving in the wind.
Just wafting back and forth, to and fro.
Hither and thither.
I've just got an image in my head now of somebody's dick moving like a flag.
Just rippling.
As it does.
Stick a pole in it.
Philippe.
Yes.
Oh, Auntie. Sweet dear. Did she ever give you the talk?
Auntie said to me that I came down from heaven and I was kissed by an angel and that's how I
Oh
am
no,
here.
it's Jesus.
Right.
Well, he exists in the world somewhere.
He does,
Yaga?
we don't know where.
Yaga,
Yeah.
as the boys' current guardians, I think that we need to explain.
Nope.
Perhaps. No?
Nope.
Yaga just screams not and runs away.
Okay.
Like, Yaga turns into a cat and fucks off.
I can't do that.
I think that as you guys enter,
Is there a kids' corner?
there's an
Fucking
inbuilt
crash that we
nursery.
can put him in.
A ball pit and some
Can I
crayons?
finger paint? Yeah, finger paint.
Actually, yes,
Oh,
there is, and I leave Philippe in there.
I think two tieflings approach you holding two silver trays, one of them with like tall glasses of like sparkling liquid and the other with canapes. And they kind of like bow deeply and they say in unison, "Please enjoy your time."
That I will. Thank you so much. Considering, actually, I'm just going to look to Philippe. I'll have yours, don't worry, and take 2 glasses. And Phaelak's going to wink at the 2 ladies. Oh, the 2 tieflings.
Sorry, yeah, one's a guy, one's a girl.
Still fine.
Perfect.
That's not the only thing that God gave me 2 hands for.
Ah!
Philippe, do you have any questions about what you just heard?
Philippe's probably just staring at the faintly naked
No.
people.
So,
a bit
I
confused.
will
Trying to cover
say-
his eyes.
Right, I'm going to say that there are many people in varying states of undress, but nothing like
Illegal
is
nipples.
out on display. There are no
Okay.
female presenting nipples. There are
Thank you for keeping
Yeah.
my innocence.
there are no swingling dongles.
Flapping in the wind.
Yeah, so like I think that's like there are
Okay.
like definitely like people leading staff into other areas where the 2 people who understand what sex is would understand that like that's where the undress happens.
Just
Thank you for whispering
I
that.
just need to make sure
Just
so we didn't hear it.
beaded curtains in every doorway.
I think maybe it is beaded curtains, but when people enter them, like they actually like properly like, seal up and turn into like just sections of the wall.
Okay.
I think the 2 tieflings then look at you and say, "Well, enjoy yourself. I'm glad you have nothing you need to ask me that would further the plot in any way."
Phaelak was taking the lead on speaking.
Anyway, actually, I do wonder, do you guys have an Eileen working here?
The 2 of them look at each other and they look at you and say, And they say in unison again, "Oh, you're here for Eileen."
Yes, she comes highly recommended.
They kind of look at each other, they chuckle, and they say, "Can you afford her services?"
Well, we're not really here for her services. We're here for her wisdom.
Give me an insight check.
Uh-oh.
All of us?
Just that.
That's 19 then.
19. When you say, "Oh, we're here for wisdom rather than services," they look confused.
Alright. We want to talk to her.
Everyone does.
Alright. Now I'm the confused one.
And I think that, they kind of look at Phalar and like, "You say that her services were recommended. What do you know?"
Look,
We're new in town and it gets worse.
Mummy.
Sorry! What did you just say, Dora?
She is my mummy.
No!
Give me a deception check!
Ooh. Ooh. That is a 25.
In hell. Oh my god.
Do you know what the worst part is?
He has his mother's
Do you know what the worst
eyes.
part is?
Go on.
Yeah.
Eileen's a dwarf, and he never took the beard off.
Wonderful.
They look at them and go like, "How old are you?"
There's a lot of hesitation in this episode.
I see where your concern's coming from. Trust me, he's old enough to be here. He's just a little slow in the head.
Yes, can confirm.
Hello.
He had a bad run-in with the thing, you know, the brain eater.
His development was stunted.
I think that they kind of like look to each other and are like, "Well, if you're family, come with us." And they, I think they take like Phalark by the hand. No, wait, he's got his hands full with alcohol.
I finished those.
Oh, okay.
Constitution check. That was very fast.
Yay! Plus, I don't have any proficiencies, but it's an 18.
And now one for the other one.
Oh.
The other drink you chugged.
14.
14. You're fine, the little giddy. Like, it is like a very sweet champagne. Like, it's very akin to champagne, but almost like a dessert wine almost.
Ooh.
They grab you and they pull you into the building. They pull you past patrons. They're moving pretty swiftly, and they move like towards like a darkened corner of the room where they kind of like tap a section of the wall which opens up into a small passageway which leads to a long spiral staircase downwards. And they bow either side of the doorway and gesture you inwards.
Much obliged, loves.
Philippe heads straight in.
Yep, let's bust on in.
Phalark gives one look over his shoulder back towards the Den of Pleasures, which he's sad to be leaving so early.
You've got a stamp for the day, so, a day pass.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
You just haven't got, like, the queue hopping pass, so, like, an extra 10 gold would have got you.
That's fine.
Well, we didn't know that.
God, Al, why did you skip out?
I know where I'll be taking my long rest.
You start to head down this long, spiraling staircase that's lit by these flickering torches. As you descend, and you descend for a while, it starts to get a little smoky in the area. This, like, fine-smelling jasmine incense. And as you reach the bottom, you see this this wooden door that's cracked open just a slight.
Head in and go, hello, mummy?
Oh god. Well, don't... She knows she's not your mother.
He's so stupid, he's starting to believe it.
You just walk right on in there.
No, I was gonna not.
Yes.
There is a dwarven woman, deep in meditation. She has a shaven head, with a septum ring with that looks like it's diamond studded. She has her eyes closed, and she looks quite like she's quite elderly. Like, maybe, like, I always try to do my descriptions of other races in terms of, like, human years, so maybe, like, 50, 60 years old. She's wearing, like, this quite, like, long, like, silky, like, quite thin, like, purple, like, quite, like, dark purple, burgundy, like, robe that kind of, like, it's really long. It spirals out into the ground and spreads across. And all around this room are these, like, thick, velvety pillows. And when Philippe bursts in, she doesn't even acknowledge him.
We'll peek round the door after him. Just sort of shuffle in.
Philippe, that's very rude.
You're supposed to knock before entering a room.
Should we get closer?
Don't know if maybe we just have to wait for her to address us.
She takes a huge breath out, and the swirling incense smoke around her just sort of, like, spirals out.
Oh man, sick fucking cotton!
Hey.
Hello, lady!
And I think, like, that does it. She sort of, like... She blinks open with a yelp, and she looks at you, she's like, goodness! You shouldn't scare a lady like that.
Sorry, he's very, very...
Stupid and rude.
Well, yes.
And I think she looks and says, my services are 80 gold each.
Fucking hell. We were sent by Harper J?
I think she sits there for a moment. It's like, how can I prove that?
How old is this lady?
Like
Yeah.
50, 60.
That's a 90-year-old voice you're doing.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, she's had a lot of cigarettes.
She doesn't smoke, she vapes.
It's still not great for your lungs.
Nothing is. We're slowly dying. Oxygen
Yeah.
rusts us from the inside.
Death approaches and all that, I'm aware.
Sorry, you want us to prove that we know Harper?
Of course.
Do
You
we-
can't just come into my domain and name names expecting for a free service.
Phelark's going to point to some of the flowers braided into his hair. I got these from his little caravan enterprise. Didn't see anything else. I've not seen anything like them before. They must be pretty unique.
So, you're not friends, you're customers.
Oh no, we're friends. We're friends.
We're employees.
Employees even, yeah.
Yeah.
He told us to seek you out.
We're looking...
Why?
Oh, okay. Yeah, the name of that weird cult is the Something of Light. Sanctum of Daylight! Anyway, we're seeking... Ooh, what are we seeking? Is it a book?
A whole bunch of necromancers.
She raises an eyebrow and says, Harper knows that I don't deal with them anymore.
But you do have inside knowledge?
Persuasion check.
It was a question. Where's my fucking 20 there? Oh no. And my charisma is only +1. That's 6.
She relaxes a little bit, like her meditative posture is quite tight, and then she kind of sort of relaxes and takes a deep breath of the incense and breathes it out and says, my services are 80 gold a head.
Okay, Mistress Eileen, Harper wouldn't send us out here into the middle of the desert, miles away from the caravan, if it wasn't important. We're pretty sure he's onto something big here, otherwise we wouldn't even be helping him either. This, whatever it is that we're dealing with here, it has ramifications. Already people have tried to kill us, and they're probably trying to kill a lot more people too.
Persuasion check.
It's not like me to get earnest, but at the moment...
Well, of course you're not getting Ernest. You left him at the door with the other tiefling, because that character's called Ernest now.
Nice. 19.
Oh.
She takes a deep breath and exhales, and she says, of course I know necromancers. What do you want to know?
We want to know where we can find them.
I don't know.
Fuck.
They move around.
Then what are your services?
Well, I am one of them. And I think that, when she says that, like, you feel like this kind of cold wind blow past you, and you see shapes in the smoke. Like, not full humanoid figures, but, like, bits of, like, glimpses of what looks like a foot moving in the smoke, like, made of the smoke.
Oh shit, I breathed in too much.
I breathed in my brother. You see like these like bits of like traces of people, like these glimpses of life in the smoke, and she kind of opens her eyes fully, and they're kind of like they've kind of like been consumed by like, this black light, almost like this glowing darkness.
You know, last time an old lady started glowing us and shit, it didn't turn out so well.
Relax, you have nothing to worry about here.
Can't trust that. We've, you know, been through what we've been through.
Let me tell you what I can. The necromancers here, they're a secretive lot. You okay there, Al? You're laughing a little bit there.
Like, kind of like, just a little bit like, duh. They're secretive.
Much,
oh, wow, really?
How much do you know about necromancy?
Alright, sorry, I'll shut up.
No, it was like a genuine question there, dearie. Like, the thing that you will all know is it's incredibly illegal.
Hooray!
Like,
Bad.
It
Bad.
is illegal in this world.
Super illegal. No go. Never touched it in my whole life.
Nuh-uh.
The punishment for being a known necromancer is death. There is no trial. They just execute you. Those statues,
Oh.
those things, they
Good
can
thing.
sense the necromantic energy on a living person, and they kill on sight.
Luke, you sound like Riff Raff's mom.
And she looks it too.
Wait.
She kind of like says, I used to be part of them, but alas, there's no money in necromancy, and I was fed up of being hungry all the time. So, I took my abilities here, where I charge a reasonable fee for people to talk to their loved one.
Gross.
There's quite a lot to unpack in all that.
She, like, sort of just shrugs.
So, why did you get mixed in with necromancy in the first place, if you don't mind me asking?
She looks into, like, the dark corners of the room, into, like, the floating smoke, and she says, that's a difficult one to discuss. I think that's a question best saved for someone else. You should save that question for Eres.
Huh?
And how do I spell that?
Yres.
Ears.
Eres. It's Eres.
Ears.
Ears. Okay. And this is a bit that probably perplexes me the most. The only reason you got out of it was because it didn't make you enough money.
Some people are in it for the good. Some people are in it for the bad. I was in it for a comfortable life that I was not getting. I'm happy here. And she's kind of like gesturing to the room around her.
And what do you mean by it made you hungry?
Well, because she didn't get any money, she couldn't eat.
Yeah.
I know, I thought it sounded ominous as well, but I'm like, oh no,
Yeah,
it's literally
it's
just
very
ominous.
food.
It does sound incredibly ominous.
Necromancy just has this way of giving you a craving for radishes.
She takes like a moment and like she kind of reaches into her robe and she pulls out a red shard of glass wrapped in cloth. The cloth has some ancient like runes on it, like in like quite like rough ink, and she holds it out to you and says, "This is the last remnant of my life with the group, with the necromancers that you're looking for. They told me that if I ever wanted to find them again, this is how I would do it. I guess you can have it."
At least they like to stay in touch.
Yeah, it was nice of them. They didn't kill you for knowing too much or anything. It's interesting.
kind of an open door policy.
I think at this point, like, someone kind of knocks on the door behind you and says, it's one of the tieflings, and it's the male one. He says,
Ernest.
Yeah, Ernest says, your 1 o'clock is here? And she kind of nods and, like, gestures about with a hand and turns to you all and says, is there anything else I can help you with?
Why is the brothel so lively at 1 o'clock? Everyone just come here for their lunch breaks.
He's extremely sex positive.
We're very sex positive here.
It's like, oh, you want to come down to the canteen, Ted? Nah, mate, I'm eating at my desk so I can go and get my half-hour's lunch break at the brothel.
Tom, instead of having a midday siesta, they just
Midday
come for
fuckesta.
Siesta.
Look at Dora was going to put the emphasis on, I went fuckesta.
You've got no idea how to use this crystal thing.
Shard of glass. She shakes her head. I never bothered to learn.
I hope that it doesn't carry with it the necromantic energy that'll get us bipped by the sphinxes, is all I can say.
I'm gonna lick
I
it.
assume that it does, otherwise we wouldn't have had them described. Schrodinger's, not Schrodinger's Sphinx, it was Pavlov's Sphinx.
Chekhov's gun?
Chekhov's Sphinx.
Pablo's Sphinx.
I'm gonna lick it. See if that does anything.
Your tongue turns into a skeleton.
And it just looks at me and goes, and then turns back into a tongue.
I've resisted against necrotic.
Which part do you lick? Which part do you lick? Which part do you...
I lick the crystal.
It's a shard of glass, Dora. It's not a crystal.
Yeah, I lick it. Someone said crystal earlier. I lick it.
Great, you cut your tongue. It's a blade of fucking glass.
I'm not gonna lick it on the sharp
Oh, that's
bit.
where you licked it. You were like, on the crystal.
I lick it on the flat bit.
Great, it's a fucking piece of glass.
Cool.
I think like you are kind of like escorted back up to
We'll shuffle on out.
the main body of the building. You've got the shard of glass. You've got the cloth it was wrapped in. What do you do?
That was a lot of effort for...
Bit of red glass.
A bit of glass.
What happens if we look through it?
I mean, maybe don't do that in the middle of the brothel.
You see the world in red.
We'll stick it to the inside of one of our mask eye holes, and we'll always have it on us. And it's also hidden.
Ooh, that's clever. I like that. Hey, Al, take inspiration. I like that idea a lot.
I could give inspiration.
You licked the glass, Dora. That's not a good idea.
Hey, Tom, just to mess with Luke, I'm gonna paint to inspire you.
Great, it lasts a minute.
Alright, don't worry, I'll put it to good use. As soon as Philippe's finished painting me, I step forward into the crowd and go, somebody fuck this!
Give me a persuasion check.
So do I have advantage?
Yeah, you get to add 1d something to it.
Oh, it's 1d8.
It's 1d8 now?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's 28.
I think you yell that just as a half-elf girl who works there. She's got quite dark skin and like this kind of like fiery like dyed red hair that almost like has like this magical like ripple through it of orange to make it look like actual fire. That's kind of stuck up in a mohawk, and she's leading
a conga line of
a. I was just going to say an orcish gentleman with like dark grey skin, these big tusks, and like a vest top that like his muscles have ripped through.
Jesus.
They're like she's leading him to one of the rooms, and they kind of just stop you, and she just kind of like takes your other hand and just keeps going.
Okay, Yaga, Philippe, see you later. Yaga, look after him. I will meet you in
30 seconds.
Let me at least roll Constitution.
Okay, go for it. I want that crit fail.
Well,
Crit fail already come.
Like she touched your hand, and you were just like, "Oh,
Oh, not 20 though. This is where I get my nat 20.
I will see you tomorrow.
We are gonna be here for a while, lads.
Okay, right. So, Philippe and Yaga, you have You have the scene.
So where are we heading to then?
I don't know.
You've got the cloth covered in runes, and you've got the piece of glass. That's all close you got.
Wait, the cloth is
Yeah, but I just thought I'd re-describe that just in case, like, some of you had forgotten that wonderful fact that I described.
Well, let's look at the runes through the glaze.
Yeah.
Nothing different about the runes.
Bollocks.
What languages do you
read
speak?
it?
I speak...
I only speak
I
common.
speak Common and Sylvan and Druidic, which is more like a secret language thing.
Give me a history check, either of you.
Oh no.
15.
I got an 8.
Okay, Yaga, you have no idea what the fuck this is.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Philippe, you trace a lot of things.
Right.
Like, you've read a lot of religious texts. This...
Oh, I learnt it in history.
And I also
class.
think that you also had, like prescribed Dwarven. Like, you know how we get, like, prescribed all these languages? I think in, like, a fancy world, like, in a school, you get, like, a lot of snippets, like, bullet points, like, other languages. So, like, you get taught...
Do I have a dwarven pen pal?
Would you like to have a Dwarven pen pal?
Aww.
I want a dwarven
What's your Dwarven pen pal's name?
Frederick.
Okay.
Philippe and
Frederick.
No, it's not Frederick.
It's Frederick.
His parents didn't quite know the name. It's Frederick.
Yeah,
Frederick.
it is.
Listen,
Of
it's
course.
still going to sound like Frederick when I say it because of my R's.
Frederick doesn't always, like, obviously doesn't write in straight up, like Dwarven script, but has occasionally done it, and you know this isn't Dwarven.
Okay.
But you have seen similar shapes that you don't understand how to read. Like, you've traced the letters before from ancient religious texts, which leads you to think that it might be Celestial. Celestial is a language that is read by priests.
Latin.
We have to go to
There
church.
is
Oh,
a
yeah.
huge temple
Monastery.
in this city. You guys approach the temple steps, and you are standing before, like, a series of, like, stained glass windows, all featuring, like, this beautiful dark-skinned woman wearing, like, gold and everything. She, like, just, like, she has, like, this shimmering golden, like, dress, shimmering golden rings. Could you, either of you, please give me a religion check?
Oh, doing so shit today. That's
I did pretty bad.
just a 5.
I got a 5
Oh,
as well.
It's Jesus!
Oh, stop.
We found
It's
him.
not Jesus. You don't know what religion this is.
Hi, what is this a temple for? Sorry, we're tourists.
Yeah, I think that maybe there's a man in, like, black robes, very akin to the person that you saw in the bar, on the sword, on his knees at the feet of one of these stained glass windows. You're not even in the building yet. This is outside of it.
Yes.
And there is a small copper sack, a small sack of coppers even, that he is sitting in front of. There's a candle beside it, and he is murmuring a prayer to himself in a language that you don't recognize. He's only human. And when you say that, he kind of, like, finishes off what he was saying. He looks up at you and says, "Are you serious? It's a church tomorrow."
I'm a swamp woman. I'm just a simple country bumpkin.
We are here to see the world and see all the religions that it holds.
He kind of, like, turns around, and, like, you guys have walked up a few steps to get to this like area of the temple. It's almost like on a plateau of, like, its own sandstone. And behind you, you can see the bazaar stretching out. You can see, like, the tops of these, like, gaudy cloth tents and stalls. You can hear the bustle below. Like, you can occasionally just hear, like, "Things for sale! I've got the greatest cloak in all of..." And, like, you know, you can hear all this cacophony below you, and the man just sort of looks at you and says, "The goddess Tamora is the goddess of good fortune. We worship her to hope for good sales, to hope for good returns on our products, for good crop yields to sell. She's everything here."
Well, I suppose it is good fortune that we met you to teach us about this good fortune.
I think that, like, he's not been, like, in the greatest of moods. And when you say that, he sort of, like, cracks a first smile. And he sort of, like, stands up and he brushes himself off. Like, he's got like a bit of sand on his black robes, and he picks up the small pouch of copper coins, and he holds out his hand. He says, Adrian.
My name is Philippe. Very nice to meet you.
What brings you here to the temple?
Like I said, we are here traveling around. However, we recently found this cloth with some writing that we do not understand, and I was wondering if maybe you could potentially read it?
He takes the cloth off of you and he says, yes, it's the same. Where did you find this?
I won it in a bet.
Yes, he does that.
Off of who?
This child gambles. Oh, some tavern ruffian. You know the type. Roll deception, right?
I do not think that right now your lie is so bad that I'm going to need a deception check.
Alright.
But what I am going to need you to understand is that, like, about this point, one of those sphinxes turns the corner around the temple and is starting to, like, trot towards you, scanning left and right. And you two can see it, but Adrian hasn't. And Adrian says, You seem like nice people. I would get rid of this and not concern yourself with what it says.
Go on, give us a hint of the first word.
Yeah, just for fun. We're curious.
Give me a persuasion check.
17. Plus 1, 18.
That is a 19.
Damn.
Adrian, he shrugs and says, there's no harm in it. It says, the moon shows the path, Kelemvor puts all to rest. He does not finish the sentiment when the Sphinx looks up at him and the beams of light emitting from its eyes turn red. Adrian drops the piece of the rag and is like, no, it's not what it seems. And the Sphinx is like approaching Adrian at a fast pace.
No, we need to protect him. What do we do?
What can we?
What do we do?
What can we do? This is the law enforcement here. Okay.
I'm going to say that, like, maybe some time has passed here, because we're actually now in a scene which is plot inclusive, and this is the sort of thing I don't like to leave a player out of. I think Phalark is at the foot of the steps now, holding, like, street food in one hand, and just sort of looking quite, like, content with life. You see these two at the bottom of the at the top of the stairs. You're maybe like 10 feet away from them. It's a lot of stairs, and you can see the Sphinx approaching a complete stranger to you, like, pretty quickly.
I can see those two there. Those two, they're like, well, I presume this isn't going well. And I'll draw my wand. Am I in the initiative order, or
there is no initiative order yet? It's not combat. It's like
what to do. Where are my spells?
Yeah, I'm looking at my spells.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had those.
My colour spray.
Yes.
Would Owl and people have to roll to avoid it?
No, it's a targeted spell, I believe, isn't it? It only hits hostile enemies.
Bucking spraying Sphinx guy to see if we can blind it.
Okay. You splash ink across its sensors, and like it sort of pauses for a second, and like it starts to tremble, and you can feel like it's sort of like trying to purge the magic effect on it.
Hang on.
Run.
Question about does the law have jurisdiction within the temple? Because usually religious grounds are exempt from that kind of thing.
Yes. Oh, are you going to call sanctuary?
Yeah.
I would still say it's something you could try.
Okay. Well, fuck. Let's grab Adrian and run into the temple.
Okay. You are in this huge, like, stone building. There are statues to the same goddess all over it. There are, wooden pews and this huge, like, golden monument at the far end. That, it's where, what would you call the place where a preacher would stand?
The pulpit.
Yeah. It's a pulpit with, like, a golden plinth and this golden statue of Tamora behind it. There are a few people wandering around. Most of them are like at the feet of one of the statues, praying, again with a candle and a small sack of coin. Some sacks are larger than others. Some are actually quite hefty. There is a man walking around, a half-elf gentleman walking around like he's quite elderly, with like this big spiraling grey beard and a cane, and long white robes with gold trimming, and like a golden like almost like golden laurels like woven into his hair, walking around the church, and you can tell that he is probably like the head of the temple.
Sir, yo.
I think like Adrian is like also kind of like, what are you doing? As the father of the temple would like lift his head up and says, "Children, how can I assist you today?"
We did a really big bad, and we are very sorry, and I did not mean to potentially hurt this very good person.
We fucked up pretty good out there. We're trying to run away from that big old cat. I don't know.
I just got here.
Don't ask about where he was.
Give me a persuasion check.
Been rolling so well today. It's on charisma, yeah? Yeah, that's 15 then.
The father of the temple looks concerned. What did you make him do?
Well, we've got this.
Adrian interrupts you and says, "They made me read necromancy."
I didn't know that's what it was. I'm sorry.
And like when
Guys,
he
come on.
says that,
Why'd you go and do a thing like that?
people like are starting to stare, and you can see like the shock on the father's face. As the shock settles in, like to the church in general, from behind you hear like a doof, doof.
No.
As the Sphinx approaches, the Sphinx, like the humanoid face on the Sphinx, its like jaw drops open, and like you can see like this beam of light starting to like build up inside of it, when the father steps in front of Adrian and says, "No, this child has strayed from Tamora's path. His crimes are great." And Adrian looks like ashamed.
No.
Oh no. I can't.
Felix crossing his arms and shaking his head at Yager and Philippe.
But he cannot be executed on holy ground. Take him to the Golden Bridge.